Welcome to Zoro's Workout Guide. If you're a stinky, smelly little cook, get out of here. No cooks allowed. You're not allowed to know these secrets. Go back to the kitchen, you stupid little. Today we're doing exercises as Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. I am demonstrating currently an overhead press and going over proper form. So let's talk about it. Right now, I am trying to show the proper plane of motion that you should be in when pressing. Now, this is a range. I like to recommend 30 to 60 degrees as I've just moved my elbows through. 30 to 60 degrees from the midline of your body. So there's the 0, there's the 90. I want to be in the 30 to 60 degree range. That is the scapular plane, which your shoulder is going to be the most comfortable and the strongest pushing in. They're also going to make sure you have the smallest risk of injury when pressing up and above your head. I'm making sure that I have a nice controlled motion. I am trying to push my head through a metaphorical window at the top of the motion. This next exercise is an oblique exercise. That's one of your abdominal muscles, specifically on the side of your abdominal wall. We're going to be going over how to properly do the form for this. I'm going to tuck my hips, that engages my lower core. I'm going to tuck my ribs down, that engages my upper core. It condenses the muscles by moving those joints down and strengthening my position there. And I'm going to lean to the side as I want to stretch that oblique muscle, and then I'm trying to pull with my upper body and torso while keeping my hips as sturdy as possible. Tucking the hips helps me do that and gets the stretch specifically where I want it instead of stretching my hips or putting it somewhere else where I don't. If you'd like, as I'm demonstrating here, you can have a little bit of fun with it and pretend to make your other hand a little teapot spout. Hey, I'm a little teapot. Go like and subscribe if you like the video. Just to make fitness fun, which is what it should be. And incorporating these into your routine will help you have a well-rounded core. This exercise is going to be a hammer curl variation. So I want more forearm engagement within my curl. Therefore, instead of grabbing the top of the dumbbell handle, as I'm about to demonstrate, I'm going to grab the bottom. So that is going to get my brachioradialis and all those good forearm muscles more engaged as long as I keep a nice tight grip while I am curling. Now, you're also going to notice I'm trying my best. It is not super easy and it's definitely not going to be completely vertical, but I'm trying to keep the tops of those dumbbells as vertical as I can to help make sure I have a nice grip and to keep that engagement as consistent as I can. Here is going to be a bent over row demonstration. So I'm going to pick the kettlebells up. You can use dumbbells as well, or a barbell, really doesn't matter. I am hip hinging. So much like a Romanian deadlift or most deadlift motions, I want to make sure that my hips are pushed back and my core is tight. And now you'll notice I'm driving my elbows back and squeezing my shoulder blades together. This one is a bit more simplistic of an exercise and a staple in most exercise routines, but it's very important to make sure that you are keeping that hip hinge position the entire way through. So that requires you to keep those abdominal muscles nice and tight and to keep those hips pushed back. This exercise is an ab wheel rollout. Now, I find these more fun and engaging than your general crunches and planks, so that's why I tend to do them and why I bought this piece of equipment. If you don't have access to one of these, that's totally fine, but I would highly recommend these if you're finding abdominal movements boring, because let's be honest, a lot of them are. You're going to have a nice tight grip, you're pulling your shoulder blades back and down to keep a nice tight position, and you are pushing the wheel forward as far as you can. Now, notice as I'm moving my hips there, I'm talking about how, like before, I'm tucking my hips under, I'm tucking my ribs down to engage my abdominal muscles. So when I roll out, those muscles stretch, and then I can contract them on the way back. So you'll see me stretch and then push it back. I am pushing that wheel into the ground as hard as I can as I'm rolling it back and forth, and trying to keep my shoulder blades back, as I'm demonstrating here, as much as I can, with the understanding that as I push my arms forward, they might stretch a little bit, but that's okay. Last but not least on today's exercise demonstrations are one of my favorite exercises, push-ups. Notice, once again, we are tucking our ribs and tucking our hips to engage our abdominal muscles as best we can. Having the muscles be tight, even if they're not the muscles that are moving during the motion, helps the muscles that will be do their job as effectively as possible. So that's also why I'm rolling my shoulder blades back and down to keep them nice and tight. They are isometrically working, which means they're not necessarily stretching and contracting, but by being engaged and tight, they're allowing the other muscles to stretch and contract. The muscles that we want to use are our chest and triceps here. Once I get in position, I want to make sure my hands are right beneath my shoulders. They can be a bit out, but when it comes vertically, you want your hands to not be in front of your shoulder joint. And there, I'm tearing the ground apart is how I try to verbalize that cue. You want to grip the ground with your hands and rotate, so that way your elbows maintain in a nice tight position as well. Just some more push-ups because I love demonstrating these. You see me grip the ground. I have my nice tight core and shoulder blades, and I can kind of pump these bad boys out. Now, I know that a lot of people struggle with being able to do push-ups on their toes. Just drop to your knees. It's totally fine. Or use an elevated surface. Get good at these because you can do push-ups anywhere. Push-ups are a staple for learning how to move your body effectively, and I'd highly recommend you guys give these a try at home, and let me know if you have any more comments, questions, or concerns.